depends on what are your focus. Are you focusing on getting something very specific, like an identity or something, or you're trying to get a feel for the table first?
Oh, I guess it can't hurt to get a feel for the table. I guess since they were gonna ask about the bandits and the mine, I think I was gonna focus a little bit more on the bear and his relationship with his brother, that kind of a thing.
Ah,
Uh,
that's yeah. Actually, good people to ask. Yes.
okay. Uh, High
Success. One
success.
success. Yeah. These people are well. They're flaunting their money. They're not very talkative among each other, so you find it very hard. And in fact, they kind of notice you a little bit. Do you what do you do? You just join the game or make a comment about it, so sort of ingratiate yourself, and it's like, oh, I know what you guys are doing, and what's your
Uh,
specific approach?
yeah, I was gonna come in and just and join the game and kind of start talking about the mine and this is like a boom town. This seems like a great place to be and what they know about it. And specifically the Baron, is he a good person to work for? How's the mine going? And then I happened to hear the Baron maybe had some beef with his brother. Like how is that? Something like that.
And one of them, well, I don't know much about the nobles around here, but I heard that there was a bit of a discussion on where exactly the mine lines, right? Where does it, if it's on one side or the other? And there was a bit of a, about last fall, there was a bit of a bit of a push and pull there. But good, the king came word from the king that it was clearly in the Baron's land. Um, but after that, they were very quiet. The decision was made. I guess the Baron is in the good books of the king, and that, of course, that king would be uh, none other than King Edgar, the Isle of Corwin, which is the eldest, and you know this, from your contacts, and like the eldest and most conservative of the three sons that are vying for the throne of the High King, right? And ruler of this particular island, which is for the Isle of Corwin. So, in translation, basically, there was a dispute. It went up to the High King, and the High King said, "Yeah, no, the mine is clearly within the territory of the Baron." So, and that seemed to be the end of it, as
Oh,
far as
that's
these guys know. Yeah,
yeah, that's great that it was resolved. So easy.
but after that, they're like, they don't know. These guys don't know anything more. Nothing more than already you perceive from other people.
Yeah.
So no. So we switch over to the trip to the people taking the trip to the mine. The road, the road here has been repaired for the purpose of carrying heavy loads. So while at the distance you see that it's forested, the actual path is clear. So it's not like you have to get into the forest. Um, and you do notice that it's similar construction to the main road, in that it is a paved road, but it's clearly of a newer design. The stepping stones are smaller, probably local as opposed to wherever they got the other stone from. And this hasn't seen a lot of traffic, at least not the kind of wear and tear due to age as the main road. But you go
But
and you see,
it's new construction, yes.
yes, and you see in the distance, you actually see lights, um, um, which at this time of night seems a bit weird, but if that seems to be the location that you're going to, and
Well, mine can run 24 hours. It's dark all the time.
yeah, um, well, it depends on the workforce, right? Who's how much workers do they have, and actually you hear in the distance, you actually hear the sound of again moving carts, and sort of you hear the sort of pebbles and rubble.
So the mine's up in the hills, and we can see it from the road.
When you go into the road, it goes into sort of wooded area, and as you go entering into the wooded area, you see at the end of the road, you see lights, and you start hearing these sounds. It's
So the
not that
bandits
far
aren't.
away.
So the bandits aren't ambushing people on the mine road because that could be seen from the city. They're ambushing people who are trying to leave the Thorpe with the iron.
Yes, the you
Hmm.
didn't see any processing of the ore in the Thorpe, and now it's becoming a village, right?
Well, you
You
said
look
there
at
was a forge here, but I'm assuming it's not a gun steel forge because those are
no,
freaking.
no, no. It's a local forge to create things like nails and like that. So the construction materials, right? It's a smaller
Right.
forge. Yeah,
The
it's not
little
this.
bellows thing that you often see in
Yeah,
these fantasy things
yeah,
can do iron, but it can't really do steel.
yeah, and they also can't do large quantities of either iron or
No.
steel, right? It's not designed for that. It's not for
Right.
industrial
Right. And they
processing.
also don't have any elementalists here, I'm guessing, so they couldn't do that.
No, so no magic either. So this is basically the ore gets transported to the coast, and distributed to wherever it's sold to whoever it is, right? So this is just
Okay.
you know.
Well, I do have to ask the most important question, which is, Harmon, if you were to die today, would you be ready for your eternal reward?
Of course.
That's good to know.
Um, and as you get cleared, there's a gate, and it has guards. These are not equins; they're basically dogs, right? They're guarding, and they seem to be leather armor and have swords, and they're standing in attention, right? Rigid attention. Unlike the equins you met in the road, which seem to be more or less, you know, green soldiers.
Disciplined.
These guys are disciplined. Harmon, you can tell that they're disciplined, right? At least they're paying attention, right?
I forget, Harmon, what is your social class?
I am a bastard.
Great. So apparently, I'm unordained clergy. So two randos come up to the gate.
Well, I'm also a veteran soldier. You asked what the social class is.
Right, but I mean, like, we're just two random people walking up to the gate to ask. Yeah, I suppose we could drop the mayor's name.
Well, I mean, we are also charged servants of the king, right?
Well, technically, Sir Gregory is the charge servant, and we're his entourage. I don't think we actually have any like writs or anything like that, like or paperwork to back any of this up, right?
You are from the King's Chosen, right? And you have
Right. Well, we
any.
just
I
have to.
mean, Harmon certainly has the uniform, has a tabard.
Okay. Well, we look less than random. We're high tier random.
Yeah.
Well, all we have to do is be nice and polite, and I'm sure we can get in there. You know how to negotiate, right?
No.
Allow me.
And they're there, and even when you approach, they sort of square up. They go, at ease, but they're looking at you directly, like, but they're not saying anything. They're just there, like, Harmon. You know that these guys are ready to defend themselves, at least if it comes to it. But they're guards, so they keep their station, right? Right.
Peace be with you, good gentlemen. We are of the entourage of Sir Gregory, sent by the High King himself, here to help you with the problems. If we come with goodwill and good intentions, we seek to inspect the mine.
One of them looks at the other, and it looks back at you. And he says, "Well, what is a priest doing inspecting mines?"
Well, actually, it's I am but a humble advisor to good Harmon here, who is here to inspect your fortifications and to find any sort of weaknesses or any sort of lower class criminals they can rout out. I myself assist Harmon in his endeavors because, well, criminals are cowardly and superstitious and often want to confess their dark ways. If we were to find any of them, we would our keen insight into the nature of the lower and debased mind would allow us to root them out quickly and to get them to confess their sins.
and you decided to visit a mine in the middle of a forest in the middle of the night. To
Well,
do
I'm
this.
I'm a raccoon.
I'm not.
Right. So, yes, we are mainly active at night. And once again, it is good to be back in the environs of my forebears. To be among the lofty tree branches and to peer into the night sky and hear the chorus of the insects. That is totally a thing that somebody who is a raccoon that doesn't have their species dumped at would say sincerely.
They
I
look
say,
at
putting
each
on my
other.
best sincere face. I'm totally one with the woods. Just look at me, you can see
And
from my calloused
this
hands
guy,
and rugged
yeah,
physique.
his radar-like ears, like his conical ears, sort of focus on Harmon and go. You have any papers or permission to be here?
I speak with the authority granted to me by one with the authority to speak for the king.
That's a lot of people with a lot of authority, sir. And none of them are here, I guess. And, this guy's a guard, and he knows that if he f's up, it's gonna be his head on the plate, right? So,
No, I'm
yeah,
buying it.
yeah.
So
He's not being Harmon. You can read him easily. Now they're not being hard for sake of pushing you around or being tough. It's this guy's just like, you gotta give me something here. Give me something. Make a roll. Vesper, you can make a roll. A
right,
mind.
and I can also drop, well, Mayor Duncan did send us, so I can go ahead and drop the name. So I'm assuming it would be
You get a bonus for that.
would it be will in negotiation or mind in negotiation?
I think it's. I'm gonna go with mind because you're basically you're going for you're not trying to override their sense of their duty. You're actually appealing to the duty and appealing to the chain of command.
Okay,
So,
makes sense to me.
And so then
I rolled a 4, which is a mere 1 success. I don't have negotiation.
But
So,
you did
you
name
do have
drop.
a-
Maybe you have an assist dice.
You have an assist die. You have a bonus die.
That is 2 successes.
And it says, looks at it as like, I have to wait one moment. I'm gonna fetch Thomas. And he opens the gate slightly. He goes in, and the other one stays in. And when he's alone with you, he sort of squares up even more. Like, okay, I'm
Okay.
alone. These guys decide to jump me. I'm gonna, and basically he doesn't go very far. Actually, he closes the gate behind him, by the way. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna leave it wide open. Takes about 5-6 minutes, and he comes back with another canine. This guy, he looks more like a husky, more like a northern, all the canines here tend to look more like Irish hounds, right? Wolfhounds.
Sensible.
This one looks more like a bulldog, basically, but rather tall and also muscular. And he opens again. It's like, so you come from the mayor. He wants to do what exactly? An inspection at this time?
We don't come from the mayor. We come from the king. We understand that you've had
Oh.
difficulties with bandits coming after Now, I'm sure that since the bandits have only been attacking people outside the village and not here, that your fortifications are top notch. So we're curious how exemplary your discipline and your fortifications are that the bandits wouldn't come attack them. Perhaps this would give us some more insight into their craven character.
Well, I guess you can inspect the. We don't have fortifications. This is a mine. We can talk
You've got
to
this.
the
You've got this wall and this guard out front. That's fortification.
And he looks at Harmon like, there is basic security, and then there is, somebody's gonna attack us, and we had to. The fortification is not merely a gate, and he's not in his mind. It's a soldier.
Oh, I have been schooled today in the ways of war. I say sincerely, nodding.
Yeah.
Your veteran capacity for defense exceeds my knowledge. I am humble.
Right. So I'm gonna fetch two of my boys. They're gonna escort you and talk to the foreman, asking them any questions you like, and that he can answer. And after that, I'm gonna have to ask gentlemen to leave. The mine is always working. We cannot have any interruptions. Do you understand this?
Completely. Isn't that right, Harmon?
Of course.
Right this way. And he goes in, and there's other two canines waiting for them, and they're basically going to escort you. And they take you to a wooden shack near the entrance of the mine. You can tell it's a sort of two-step process. The first part of the mine is sort of a strip mine where they open up the earth and they were digging directly, and now they open into an entrance that goes deep into the ground itself. So apparently, the first layer was that they're just removing the earth, but apparently, once they found maybe a vein or two, they followed it in underground. And there's a foreman, and foreman is another boar, and he's basically without a shirt, and again, somebody who looks work. And the foreman office basically has a bunch of tools, pickaxes, shovels. He's talking to another rodent, or a shrew, who is sort of giving him, very quickly a report about, yeah, we're taking a left here, sir, and we're gonna do this and that. And I was like, yeah. He's speaking very quickly. It's a lot of jargon about, mining. We have no idea what they're talking about. And he leaves.
Well, I might have some. I'm very well schooled.
Okay, well, that would be mine and whatever schooling you think it applies.
Academics.
Academics.
But also, Harmon, I need you to be looking for clues. How skilled are you in searching or observation?
I'm not.
Well, this will be a fruitful exercise.
Sir, I'm only here to make sure that you are not harmed.
It's quite understandable. In fact, and you're doing an excellent job. As so far, I've not been harmed in any way.
5.
That's only one success. I would notice stuff that was obvious to almost anyone.
Yeah, basically, again, they're just talking. Basically, get the fact that Shrew is very harried and so just wants to get this done with, and he has to go back in, right?
Right, standard work stuff. So they're
No,
I would know enough that they sound like they know what they're talking.
Mm.
But I'm more concerned, if so it's a strip mine, then it's a mine. I mean, I would want to look for clues to see if there was anything if this is a repurposed structure, because that's why they're stealing the iron. So I'm just wondering, did they come across some sort of holy site? Did they remove any menhirs? Is there temples or other construction? Anything unusual I might notice about that? And I'm guessing that would be observation.
Mm-hmm. You do notice when there was strip mining that you don't see it. You wouldn't see it when you come in because of the direction, because it actually would be below you. But as you turn, the road sort of turns into the strip mine and eventually goes into what's the pit. You see that from your position outside of the office, there's basically a wooden wall. They constructed a wooden wall there for some reason.
A palisade on the inside. That is
weird. It's a wall. Right, basically, it's sort of the kind of wall that you build so people don't reach whatever it's behind it. Right, it's supposed to keep people out. Right, like in a construction site when you put some kind of wall, not for holding up anything, but just covering it. Do you ask about that?
Actually, Harmon, why don't you ask them? You're a soldier. Why don't you ask them some questions about the activity and defensive of the mine, and be really forthright and obnoxious. I need a distraction. Can you do that?
As you say.
So you engage with whom? With the foreman?
Yeah.
With the captain? The captain is there. The captain of the guard there. The bulldog. There's two guards, and there's the foreman.
Right. Well, I'm looking at. I want to go investigate that wall that they have there to see if I can see what's on the other side of it. So, Harmon, why don't you ask a lot of obnoxious questions and, in the name of the king? But I just really need you to be a distraction. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I mean, I am a massive, imposing figure. Where
Yep.
You might
All right.
very well literally block their line of sight.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's usually presence to be a distraction like that, but I don't know if you're a career soldier or whatever.
I am a career soldier.
Are you a giant?
No, I didn't go for that
Just
one
huge.
this time. Well, I am D12 body, D12 speed. I am all
You're pretty big.
physicality. Yeah.
You are pretty huge. All right, why don't you, if you could do that for me, because I am not very sneaky.
Yeah, you start talking to them. I want to get the gist of what your approach is.
Basically, a standard maneuver in Ironclaw is have one person make a presence check. You don't always have to use the same skill to assist. Like a popular thing is one person makes a scene using something like presence to give another person an assist bonus on stealth to go sneak over there and check something out.
Let's say that you have a bonus because of Harmon, right? And also because I already rolled for them and they roll poorly. So, yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
you have
assume
a-
this would be speed and stealth.
with an assist die.
You're not a team player, are you, Harmon?
No.
No, I'm giving you because they have a penalty because I'm giving them.
Did I
penalty,
mention I'm not stealthy?
Yeah, one of the canists is like as you sort of try to slink away because you were going to talk to the foreman. The foreman's sort of waiting for you to talk. So you have that moment, and Harmon steps up, like, and opens his mouth, and Harmon gets interrupted because this canist sort of puts a hand on your shoulder. It's like, excuse me, where do you think you're going?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have become misdirected. My head is full of lofty thoughts. Have you considered your final reward?
Please don't touch him.
He removes his hand,
Thank you.
and he points at the foreman. The foreman is over there, sir.
Oh, I'm
I'll
sorry.
ask you questions.
Well, I suppose I don't know too much about mining operations. But as this foreman, it's like, what is that structure over there? I say, pointing at the wall.
Well, when we opened the mine, about a week into it, some group of people showed up and said that we couldn't do it over there. We couldn't keep stripping over there. And in fact, they helped us find the main vein. And so, sure, they were, they just came in with one of the members of the Spencer family and said, just stop whatever you're doing over there and stop the strip and just try to go the hole then. And
So the
we
nobles told you don't dig over there.
Well, I wouldn't call the people that came with the Stratford man nobles. They were all wearing cloaks. One of them had a staff.
So some random commoners came by and told you not to go over there, and in defiance of the mayor's will, who speaks with the king's name, you've decided to leave one vein untouched.
Let's just say that that's not how it works around here. The mine belongs to the Staffords. They're married into the Baron's family. So yeah, they get to say that because the Baron speaks with the king's name. And
So
they pay my wages, sir.
So the agents of the Staffords told you not to dig there?
Yes.
Huh. Well, who can fathom the ways of the nobility? Am I right? I say, elbowing Armin.
I don't do anything.
I think I hurt my elbow. You're wearing what, Aerith armor?
Yeah.
One layer or two?
One layer.
Oh, okay. Still, ow.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, let's just do what I'm told. I'm just a foreman. The way it works, I get my instructions, I tell the boys what to do, they do it, and make sure nobody gets too hurt by doing it, and that's just how it
Truly,
works.
there is nobility in simple labor. Truly, you are the salt of the earth.
Well, I'm pretty salty, that's for sure.
You've been very gracious to entertain us at this hour.
Right.
Unless good Harmon has more questions, I think we'll take our leave.
And he looks up at Harmon and like, do you have any questions, sir?
None.
Well then. He looks at the captain and is like, well, I think these gentlemen are leaving. Right. Right this way, sir.
You're doing an excellent job keeping this place well patrolled and defensible and working.
Yeah.
Praise
You
to you.
do. You again. You notice this because mostly they stand around near where the lights are. Right. You notice about 4 to 6 more guards, all of them in pairs.
Yeah, I mean the place is well garrisoned, and I assume
Yeah.
any workers that would be here are below. So
Yeah. I mean, when you time here, you saw somebody bring a cart full of ore, right? And they're, so people working in and they start, put it in the bags and stuff like that. So you would think that maybe within a couple of days they may have a shipment ready, right? Because they don't just fill one cart; they fill multiple carts.
right, they slowly dig, pull all the chips
Yeah.
over here. So we can see that they've got. You said it was a strip line, so they would have carts for that, and then they would have a crane, which probably isn't working right now. And so
No.
so they're halfway to the next load. Okay, sounds good.
And you're scored out. And when you get out, the captain says, the road is pretty sparse and open, but it's still dark. I know that you are night folk, but I would consider to just get some indoors pretty quickly nonetheless.
Oh no, I put my faith in Harmon here. His arm does not tire, and his heart beats strong.
All right, then. If you need anything else from the mayor, please next time call for me. Just get the captain, and we won't have to go through this.
Good sir, I am Prester Vesper, and your name is
Tom, Captain Tom.
Captain Tome.
Thomas, to my friends. Yeah.
Well, peace
He's
be
weird.
with you.
He gives you the longer name to his friends and the shorter one for you, but
People are. I can be very approachable. I can see the light that is within your heart, and you truly have the best interests of both you and those under your protection in mind. I'll make the quick sign of the octagram, even though it might not mean anything to him. And
he bows. He's a
okay,
bow.
and let's get out of here. I gotta wait until we're out of earshot, which is quite a distance when you're dogs, to confer with Harmon.
Well, you do hear in the distance, basically, it's like one of the guards in front turns to the other and goes, "What was that all about? I have no idea." Weird. Yeah.
So, Harmon, do you have any thoughts?
Seems like the easiest thing to do would simply wait for their shipment to be finished and escort it.
Well, you're thinking of the safety of the shipments. I'm wondering about that. Well, so the Staffords themselves said that couldn't be touched, and there's also bandits who are going and taking specific ore from them. There's more that I've never known nobles to say, the resources of the earth are wealth. Let's just not touch it. Let's just not make money and power and wealth off of this. Like, that's just incredibly weird.
The way they would describe it was that this guy, there was a man from the Stafford family came in. He recognized him, but he came with other people who were wearing cloaks.
Yeah, he said they had
One of them had a staff. It's like, and he was basically told point blank, "Don't touch that. You can dig any." In fact, the people with the man with the staff told them where to go, and they found more ore. So it's like, well, we're still doing whatever we're supposed to be doing, so that's fine.
Right, but I'm conferring with Harmon here that I think, first of all, that's weird. Secondly, there's no reason why they couldn't dig down, around, and then up and tap that either by accident or on purpose. And also, like I said, that's really weird that somebody would come by and say, don't exploit this mineral wealth. There's something about that the Staffords aren't saying, and I'm thinking that we need to do more in information on the Staffords themselves. But I mean, I'm guessing Harmon has no comment.
Well, my weight was more on solving the bandit situation. Yours is a political matter, and I do not weigh into politics.
Right. Well, I'm thinking, once again, I don't like using the phrase bandits. It doesn't make, I mean, you've been a soldier. Why would someone go through all the effort of violence and not take coin?
Whatever they may be, bandit is the nomenclature that the locals have deemed to label them with, and it is the easiest form for which they are recognized, so I am calling them bandits as well.
Well, you are a man of single purpose and single-mindedness, and there is a form of honor in that. I'll pat Harmon, well, on the back, as if he would feel it.
Uh,
And I guess we'll trudge back to town because it's like,
Mhm.
okay.
so
Because
you know that the other ones are supposed to be on the tavern. I thought myself, there's no inn yet.
well, right, that's the only place to go. I guess
Yeah.
I've slept on lumpier table.
No, you are offered places to stay, but if you want to go straight to sleep, you can do that. You were told basically, okay, there's a neighboring home that will offer you some place to stay.
Well, that's right. We have coin med. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And-
also have you could come and confer with us, of course, before you go to sleep. Doesn't really matter when, but
I think rendezvousing with you at the tavern makes more sense now that we've done that. And you guys probably spent a couple hours gossiping. Harmon, what's your personality again?
Sorry, my personality is mercurial.
So you're wait. So you're friendly?
I shift with the wind, basically.
Okay.
Mm.
You're unpredictable. Okay.
Yeah.
perfectly stoic 1 minute and drunk the next.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, you mainly see the stoic side, but you see me in a fight and that might change.
So you go into the tavern, and at this moment, you basically finish most of your gossiping. Dax, you realize that as much as you try to angle on these guys, the game, nobody wins big in this game. Somebody wins a couple of coins more, a couple of coins less, but it seems very friendly for them. But they seem weary of looking at other people. Like they look at you when they make small talk, but they don't seem to be particularly interested or have any more information. The same goes for everyone else. Like, aside, people seem to be concerned with bigger matters. This particular thing,
Bigger matters to them, of course.
exactly, is important. They know about it, but they think like, well, people are making money, and whenever people make money,
And none of
some
them
other
have
people wanna
personally
steal it.
experienced it.
You don't find anybody at least willing to talk about it in the tavern. The tavern. As you go out, the rat behind the counter, the proprietor, says, "My lord,
Oh, yes.
may I have a word with you?"
Oh, absolutely.
And he basically sits you in front of the bar and sort of like, he sort of leans in like this. It's like,
Yeah,
you've been asking a bit about bandits, haven't you? So,
that's right. So business here this day.
uh,
Ugh, the drink's already hitting me.
sorry about that. I have to make them strong for the boys and the girls. And the thing is, a cousin of mine, he was one of the ones who got hit. Strange that they didn't take anything other than the iron. I mean, he thought he could fight them. Got hit across the head for it, basically.
Ooh.
But they could have done worse. They didn't. They left them be. They left them water. They left them their stuff, their clothing, their money. Very strange. But there was something weird about the person speaking.
Something
He
weird.
didn't seem to be like a common, according to my cousin anyway. I don't know what he knows, but that's what he told me. And he had sort of this manner about him, like he was like he was larger than life. Something about him, very theatrical. Like, good sirs, lend me your ears, that kind of thing. The way he
A
described
person
it.
after my own heart, then.
I don't know, maybe something might help you. I'm really worried. Everybody else seems to be thinking that the money's going to keep rolling in, but if the mine caves in, so to speak, or gets abandoned, then this place is going to dry up pretty quickly. He's basically echoing exactly what the mayor said earlier.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And your cousin, when he stood up to this this personality, they would seem to have been the leader, right?
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on, then.
He didn't want, according to him, he was why he get him. Someone else sort of struck him from behind, right? More like a hard bump on the head, like you're stepping out of line. But it's smart. It's smarter than well. He felt it, left it a little bump in the back.
I do hope that he's well now.
Well, so do I. uh, we don't have anybody who can practice, the thing with the priest and anything, right? So I'll have to heal by himself, I suppose, just take a nap or two. Wish I could say more, but don't know more. But I would be careful because, they're too good at what they're doing. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the
Right.
people I'm talking.
Well, it's good that I have my own knight to protect me then.
He looks around, it's like, oh, you do. Good for you, sir.
Indeed. I can only hope that he can handle so many.
Right.
Maybe they brought twice as many, they'd have a fair fight.
I hope it doesn't come to that.
I hope not too. Perhaps yet they could be reasoned with, if they choose to not exact such violence on others.
Well,
maybe there's a chance.
Right then. Here's on one on the house, sir.
Thank you.
Good.
You're too generous, truly.
Good with that, my lord. I'll be closing up soon. And he started racing, but like, I'll be closing up soon, Chop. Come on, everyone. And you're like, like one more round on the house. What else? Like, no rounds on the house.
And Gregory will just go ahead and chug the last of his.
And as you're talking, he's sort of talking to the floor. Basically, that's when the other group comes in. Harmon and Vesper come in, and you have enough time to have a decent shot. It's gonna take a while for people to file out. And
Vesper, I saved you a shot.
And this guy's not gonna close the doors on your face, right? Because he clearly knows that you're of higher status. He's not gonna.
Right, he lives here. He's not going home. He's closing the door.
Yeah, so he's not gonna kick you out until you're good and ready. So you have time to talk if you need to talk. Maybe you probably talk with the bar less full or even empty for a little bit. Eventually, he'll hint at, I'm going to get some sleep, sir. So
Right. We won't keep him too long, but we'll have plenty of time to sit at the same table and discuss for a bit.
Yeah.
So Vesper and Harmon, well, how was your excursion? Wonderful walk, I hope.
Exhausting. I'm so thirsty.
Well, as I said, I saved you a shot. Here.
Oh, thank you. Is this all?
Oh, well, I do have another one here. And what's this? A third one?
Well, please, I don't
Harmon,
want to
you're flacking right here.
No, thank you, sir.
Well, more for the two of us then.
Bottoms up.
It's thirsty work walking.
But anyway, yeah, I would just like to say Harmon and I saw the fortifications look great, but it's that weird wall that the Staffords and their cloak gang. Oh my god, it's the mystery of the Druids all over again. Can't drop my jaw that far.
Those darn forest dwellers. But
Right. So there's some sort of mystery going on there that I fear we could probably only solve. The Staffords know more. They've obviously not told them why not to dig there, and whoever it is that's doing the bandit operation is after something specific.
Do you think maybe they're not actually after the iron?
That's a good question. When the bandits did the raiding, did they take all of the iron or just some of the iron?
As far as you know, all of the iron. And only the iron.
But they're only taking the iron. Once again, I can't emphasize how weird that is.
Yes.
But my suspicion has been that at least the Staffords, on the face of things, are probably being honest about this, as far as I can tell so far. It's their business. They stand to gain from keeping everything, and if they wanted anything, they could simply have taken it at a more discreet measure.
The Staffords are the wild cards in this, as far as I'm concerned. And you found nothing unusual among. Everyone here is a pretty much mining town.
No, I don't think anyone here even are the ones who take it the rest of the journey. Even I think those might probably be on the way. The barkeep, though, has a cousin who actually had a run-in with bandits, and is in fact the one who got bopped in the head. So was his terms, crude as it is. He said that the ringleader seems to have a bit of a flair for the theatric, perhaps even a noble upbringing and vocabulary.
That's weird.
I suspect at the very least education, if nothing else, or maybe just too many plays. Regardless, I think that is perhaps at least knowledge to our advantage. Maybe there is someone who could fit the bill out there.
Dax, you mentioned the sort of odd rambling of the guy who was talking about some lines in the mines or something like that. That they found, and they shouldn't have dug there for some reason.
Yeah, I believe it was you guys, Spencer and
Okay, yeah.
who had that information. But yeah, I've joined the group and I shared what little information I got about how there was a disagreement over who owned the mine, which was settled by the local area king.
Who does own the mine then?
The Staffords.
Well, the Staffords, but it's clearly within the Baron's. The way I repeat it is like the mine is clearly within the Baron's territory, so it's responsibility. And of course, his family on his wife's side is the Staffords, who own the rights to extract the ore. And essentially, they own the mine and they're making money from it. So
the Staffords are claiming that they own the mine, and the Staffords are the ones who also said, "Don't dig in this spot."
yes,
But we don't know, whoever the bandit leader is, there's some sort of flamboyant person making a specific point of only taking the iron.
Mhm.
That's weird, because that flamboyant person taking the iron could be an agent or someone who claims progeny of the Baron, or lineage to the Baron, who is just doing it because they want out of spite. I mean, that would make sense to me.
Well, motive is hard to determine. We could always ask in person. If the iron does need to be taken the rest of the way, and we do intend to go visit the Baron and the Staffords and ask them a few questions about what they might know to narrow this down, perhaps we could escort one of these mine shipments and along the way see if we see anything.
Well, from protecting the bandits, that makes complete sense to me. I would want to investigate the Staffords to figure out why they said, no, we don't want to make all the money we can.
It sounds to me, at least on the surface of things, perhaps they had some sort of elemental training, if you would. I don't know if they sound like university folk to me. They would have been
Well, they
wearing
sound
some very
like-
ostentatious and obvious clothing.
Well, they have weird people in robes. That usually implies to me religious. Since I, from Salmaire, represent a proper religion, they, in their weird robes of something we never heard of, must be a cult. That is how this works.
That is a possibility, though I would venture to say maybe they're just a survey crew. But, well, we'd have to ask them. And the Staffords would know if they're their people.
Well, I'm sorry, did Dax have a question about that?
Well,
Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Besides religious, it could be that they are magical in nature, since Spencer here is not part of the religious, but also wears robes. Spencer, are you familiar with that terminology, the ley line, and what that might be? I've never heard of such a thing.
that would be a mine academics role.
Okay, let me do that.
Ley lines
here.
are pagan nonsense, is what they are.
Here, I'll assist you. I don't know anything about them. They are pagan nonsense.
I do. Before you make the roll, well, after the roll, you can actually
Yeah,
remember.
we can adjust it.
Everybody has per session a
Personality.
No. I mean, that's stupid. Also, they have a flashback.
Flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So-
Well, I also have skill in the supernatural, which I could use if you want me to use that.
Mm-hmm.
Could I also roll supernatural?
Yeah.
That's one success for me, which gets and my specialty is in evil supernatural.
Yeah.
But I'll just one success is enough to give the D8 bonus. So
Yeah.
So I get a D8 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ley lines are where there's intersections of evil.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one success, only
One
a
success.
5.
Yeah. It's you heard about the term, but the specifics of it you can't really recall. It has to do with magical energies
So
of some
it
sort.
would be something he learned from his thaumaturgy.
Yeah, but it's
Or paganism, I say, shaking my raccoon fist.
yeah, of how magical energies are overlaid. But the specifics of it, or exactly what it means, or how would you where you recognize it, or find it, or use it, or none of that. You're like, yeah, that would require deeper study. Perhaps treatises on ley lines and what have you, if you can have your hands on them. But otherwise, yeah, no.
So I would need access to a library to know much more than what little was in this book.
Mhm.
Well, if it's paganism, they don't write their stuff down. Ugh, I say, rolling my eyes. You'd have to consult with one directly, and they'll tell you, "Oh, it's a sacred place." I say, make big round gestures.
So then, I guess that just leaves what's our plan forward then? Of course, talking to the Spencers and the Barons seems like that's what's on our mind. So, if the Iron goes that way, I would say let's escort the Iron,
Well, I
and
think
we'll
we
get
should.
there.
I completely agree that you should escort the Iron, but what I would want to do is I want to investigate the Stafford Manor. You don't have a bunch of people in strange robes wandering around for no purpose. Also, we still haven't established where the bandits' base of operation is. It's 6 to 12 individuals led by one well-educated person, and they're all trained in the arts of war. And we've established that those people are not here in this town because this town is like 40 people, and we've already met 2/3 of them. They might all be part of Stafford's personal garrison. Stafford may be hiding a secret pagan coven on their landscape, and we need to investigate it.
Agreed.
So that means we need to send agents there, and I don't think we should entertain audience directly with Stafford because they would equivocate. We need to investigate personally with people skilled in the supernatural and people skilled in, dare I say, the type of skullduggery of sneaking around.
But where would we find some individual like that?
I have no idea, I say, gesturing wildly. All of us are, either well-educated, well-heeled city folk, or far too naive to do something.
Well, that
Fair.
might be true. We can always give it a shot.
So I say let's reconvene in the morning. Let's decide on how we wish to proceed towards the Staffords, and we'll do so.
I suppose rest is in order.
That it is late in the night, and I have a bit of my book to read.
Peace be with all of you.
As you go out, the moon sort of the and this is not something your characters will see, so there's no roll. This is set up.
Yeah.
Clouds basically part a little bit. There's a cross in front of the moon and a silhouette in one of the rooftops of the opposite side, looking down at the street at you. It looks and it sort of moves like this, like it's covered itself, and then sort of scratches its nose and seems to jump out of the roof, and maybe the audience can hear sort of a flapping of wings, like as you basically go into the mayor's house and go to neighboring houses to go to sleep. So yeah, to hear audience. And you go to sleep and nothing happens, right? For maybe our would to be soon to be ordained cleric is maybe having a little bit of hangover because we mixing and matching drinks all day. But aside from that, you seem to feel, you know, you're fine, you know. And in fact, you're waking up very early in the morning, even before the first rays of light come in, with people, you know, hammering and working, and you know, it's a new day, and people have to get to work and do all the things, right? So, and now when you go out, now you start seeing beasts of burden, you know, and working. So this is a town that's coming alive very early in the morning, and that's really what wakes you up. A few, you know, beeps from you know, from lizard folk, etc. Little lizards running around, you know, baying or crying, and you're like, okay, it's time to get up. So what's the plan now, as you are preparing for a new day?
Well, I guess the first question, of course, is probably I will go ahead and talk to the mayor and gather just a little bit more information. I'll ask how far away is the Baron's estate from here? You know, how long of a walk?
Yeah.
The what's the answer on that one first? I suppose
4 to 5 hours, because basically the Baron controls not only this village but several villages, and this is the more northern reach, which
right. It's a radius out from him.
yeah. And so he says about 4 hours. He says it's a manor house, the Adderford Manor House. You'll
Right.
find it very clearly. And
Right, and both he and his wife's estate, the Saffords, also live in the same area, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Next question, of course, would be when the shipments from the iron come through, they go to his estate, correct?
No, they go straight
Or-
for the port, the port you came into, right?
Oh, okay. So I think that's the opposite direction then, right?
Yeah.
Or
No,
no, if this is like the
usually,
northernmost, he's the hub, then
yeah. It says basically mostly every 3 to 5 days, maybe no more than a week. It takes them to get enough ore out to chip it, which is a lot. Yeah, it's pretty fast right now. I suspect they'll slow down after a while. So they're running hot right now. Yeah.
then I guess like when's the last time you sent out a shipment?
Oh, about
Like
3
when's the
days
time
ago.
you think the next one's going to be ready?
Say it's about within the weeks or so. 3 days ago was the last shipment, and we expect about 2 to 3 more days for this. For the next
All right.
one.
I'll keep that on my schedule then, and I'll keep it in mind.
It's easy to spot if you're on the road, or you're here. You can see them crossing the bridge as it turns south.
Right. Well, I suspect we'll have plenty of time to go wherever we wish, and maybe even return and personally escort it. And we'll see from there.
Yeah.
For now, though, it doesn't seem like the village itself is in danger. Everything seems in order, unless you have any other worries you'd like to share with us that we could address before we leave.
Well,
However, I think we're going to go ahead and continue on our journey then and see what else we can root out about this problem.
and he basically tells his servants to prepare a light breakfast for you to carry. Like, she's like, all right, then.
Of course. So gracious. So wonderful.
Yeah. He may not be a nobleman, but he knows his way around them, apparently, or learned it. We see back to a light lunch, you know, eggs or whatever, you know, eggs Benedict or whatever, you know, and so you can carry with you.
Yeah, bases it off like the diet. There's like 2 raccoons that eat anything, the one donkey, and then of course the 2 carnivores. So
and yeah,
a light salad for Harbin.
You're going straight, mule, yeah. You go straight for the manor house again. No major problems along the way. You see another patrol, another, you know, not the same patrol you saw the day before. This one is a mix of equins and dogs, right? So it's not all of them are horses, as sort of the main guardsmen, as you saw in the mines, for example. You reach, and it's a fortified manor, right? It's clearly, I mean, this is the time where the era of the castle is waning.
Mhm.
And there might have been a castle in this area once, perhaps, if the Baron ever got permission to build that castle. Now it's basically one story, very large manor house, but it's constructed very solid stone, so it's fortified in that sense, and it has an outer garden and a wall, and there's guards there waiting. Did you send word ahead, or are you simply going to show up?
Well, we don't have anyone to send word ahead with,
I mean,
and
you could
I
have, you could
probably
have.
would want to confer with everyone. Vesper was saying maybe sneaking about, so I'd ask, like, before we even get there or send
Mhm.
any sort of word, uh, would you like to split up from the party, or would anyone wish to, and go about their own way while I attend to business up front?
Well, a two-pronged approach might work well with some people distracting them while other people were to sneak around. I mean, I've done digging into, I mean, obviously they're up to weird pagan tomfoolery, so I've done sneaking around before, but Harmon here is way more conspicuous.
Right, Harbin should stick with me in this matter, and of course we'll head in and do our thing.
Mhm.
I mean, I suppose if we had to, I'm not sure I want to put Dax in such danger.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll do the best I can.
Okay,
Uh,
so
and what
myself and
about you,
Dax
Spec?
could be your team stealth, yeah.
Would you like to come in with us, or would you like to hang with the others?
Okay. As you're planning, I want to give you the lay of the land so that people are like, oh, you said this, and
Hmm.
the area right here is very much of this area is relatively flat. The island itself has mountains and whatnot, as you can see in the picture in the background, but not this
Mhm.
area. It's more like slightly rolling terrain, but
Yeah.
mostly plains. So, and the manor house is clearly seen from a distance, right? It doesn't have a lot of woods or anything like that. Maybe you see some trees, maybe in what could be what essentially a trees in the backyard of the manor, but you don't see any close terrain to hills that you can get a look over the over the wall, or any large trees at least nearby. There might be what's called copse of trees, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, maybe at a great distance. You see them here and there, right? That there's farm. I mean, basically, this particular area on the manor is farmland, so you do see farmers working sort of the common, still in the commons, right? So that probably was the original purpose of this manor house, to oversee this area, which is farmland. Um, and you see people as you're walking in, and this is the side road, a dirt side road, not the main, uh, you know, uh, cobblestone road. You see people working the fields, right? So maybe you could try to use preparing the fields, because this is in spring, so you don't have any tall wheat or anything like that. And I say all this so that if you're trying to sneak in, I don't want to have the situation where, oh, this feature appeared and then disappeared. And what you told me this, I want to make sure that you guys have a clear mental picture of how it can be done. It can be done, just you have to need a little bit of a different approach. I'm not ruling it out, just saying that it's not there's not a convenient tree that's hanging that you can, for example, jump from a tree into at least into the wall. It might be different inside, but that's what you see from the outside, and you can see it clearer from a distance.
Okay. And you also mentioned the sending ahead.
I
We're
mean,
here and we're on business, so we're just going.
you
My
can
plan
grab
with
a
info about
kid from
Spencer. Yeah.
yeah, you can grab a kid from the street, like, hey, listen, kid, here's a missive from me. Just go and
Yeah, go and
there.
shout this at them, and then I'll
Yeah,
approach. It'll look
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
Um, and I guess the last question here is, where does Spencer want to go?